Hey guys, Dino here with AudioMorpheus.com. We're down here in beautiful Newport Beach, California on Balboa Island, getting ready to head down to the Celestial Soundwave studio to see EDM producer Gavin Juarez. We've got a lot of great stuff coming at you. Stay tuned. We're going to show you how the music's put together and how he produces and puts out the amazing music that he does. Let's go. Come on.
Tough plane ride in. Got no peanuts on the plane, by the way. Got to talk to the stewardess about that. Check this out. I'm going to go see Gavin Juarez. All right, welcome to AudioMorpheus.com. We're here with Gavin Juarez. Gavin, what's happening, brother?
What's going on?
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
You as well.
Thanks for having us, man.
Of course, absolutely.
Come on in, Dino. So, how things been, man? What's been happening?
Pretty good. Not a whole lot. Just you know, working on new tracks. Just released one last night. Put it on SoundCloud. Started something else again today. In the world of electronic, you got to keep going. You can't really stop. You got to keep making new stuff. So,
right.
You know, just keep on keeping on, I guess.
Right. Well, tell us. You put some stuff on SoundCloud, and we've obviously got the link. It'll be right here later. I want you to check Gavin out. This is such an incredible setup here, man. Tell us about your setup and tell us what you got working.
Well, for as people would say, a bedroom producer, this is a little bit better than usual. Before I just had these little speakers that you see laying on their sides, and those are just $50 everyday speakers. But I switched, upgraded a little bit. I worked, made my own money, to buy my own toys.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it happens. So anyway, I ended up going to the Yamaha HS80Ms, 8-inch speakers. They're pretty fat. It's one of Yamaha's most renowned lines of monitor speakers, and they're near field monitors. So in a sense, they're good for any bedroom producer because you don't have to necessarily worry about them destroying your walls and your neighbors, because they work in the triangular fashion, you being at the apex of the triangle, so the sound is perfect right in your face. So you can get the best out of your sound without annoying everybody else around you. So those are those. And if you ever get monitors, make sure you get isolation pads, because they keep everything from vibrating, especially if you have a wood table. So I have that, and then essentially the only two pieces I have that really matter are my Arturia analog laboratory. Basically has about 4,000 or 5,000 sounds integrated into it, so I can utilize all the sounds on it, even though I can't at the moment because it's grounded, which is a annoying thing that can happen if there's a disturbance in the frequency field. So I'm trying to deal with Arturia. They're in Europe, so you know, I'm trying to deal with people in Europe a little bit.
What about your software you're using?
I'm using Logic Pro 9. If you're an Apple user, there's nothing else you want to use. If you're using PC, it seems more days people are now using FL Studio for Fruity Loops. It's simple, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter what software you're using. It depends how you use the software.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because you know it's just like any sport for that matter. Golf, baseball, race car driving. The car doesn't do it. The driver does it. So it doesn't matter really that you have $1 million equipment or thousands of dollars worth of equipment. It's the person sitting in that seat, and that's really what drew us to you. And when we listened to your music, we were immediately struck by the amount of depth that you have in the music. Where do you find your inspiration? What's your goal in this type of music in EDM?
Well, I mean, I pull from a lot of different sources, I guess, but the thing with EDM, and every EDM producer knows this, is it's extremely easy to get pigeonholed or to be compared. Like, if you have a certain sound in your song, which is fine, that's kind of how it is. I mean, it's electronic music, it's very specific, and there's a lot of sounds to make, so inevitably you're going to make something that sounds like So I pull from, you know, trance artists from Above and Beyond, Armin van Buuren, you know, to progressive house and Mogwai, Deadmau5, you know. Those are just the generic top level people that most people know. I can go in for days on other smaller artists, but it takes too long. But basically when I'm making music, I don't try to fall into the cliche sound of electronic, which is, you know, repetitive, where you have your bridge, your chorus, your bridge, another chorus, and then an outro. Like, in general, that's, I mean, my guidelines will be of that nature, but I won't follow it as strictly as some, or as most of the EDM people do, because it's all about big sounds, so people are trying to get really big sounds to happen. If when people listen to trance these days, and it kind of sucks, but when you listen to trance used to be melodic and uplifting and very open and free, and some of it still is. You still get that, like with Above and Beyond and Armin sometimes, but now it's like finding a really big kick drum or finding a really big synth sound and just putting a lot of reverb on it and making it fill out a huge space, which is cool when you're out at the festival, because it just, you feel like you're just raging in space. It's nuts. But they kind of let go of the storytelling through the music and are trying to be more impressive with their sound design and sound engineering, which essentially is, it's like anything else, it's evolving. Like technology is constantly evolving, the sound of EDM is evolving. So I'm trying to evolve with it, but yet keep a storytelling aspect to it in a very pulled back, simplified way.
Alright. That's what's really awesome about you inviting us in to show us what and how you do it. This is organic, this is homegrown. Like you said, you love it, pet it, feed it, and we'd love to see how it comes about.
Yeah, it would definitely. Well, as you said, I don't use anyone else's music. I mean, there's such thing as sampling, which obviously you sample pieces of other music.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. And I think like most producers, I sample from time to time, but if I do sample, it's drums typically. Most people will sample drums, but I don't do loops, I just do pieces of drums. And there are sound packs that you can buy or pirate, and when you do that, you have really good pre-recorded drum lines that people have created, and you can basically strip out pieces of any of the drum loops that you like and edit to get a snare out of it or a kick out of it, whatever you want. And that's really the only time that I do sample anything, is when I will take the sound out of a drum loop and process it and integrate it into my sound. So that's typically for the drum situation how I start, and that's the start of any track for me. Is I think for most people it is that way, because if you don't have your drum beat put down, it's kind of hard to get the flow of what your song will sound like, essentially. So it's like the bare bones, the stripped down, just bottom texture. Yeah, it's the foundation of everything. So I'll always have the kick first, because the kick is the most important thing. In a lot of electronic, you want to have the best sounding kick you can. Whether you want it to be a big bottom end kick with a lot of bass, or if you want it to be a high attack kick with just a clean, crisp sound. Because that also dictates what your bass line is going to sound like. So those two things in conjunction make for a proper electronic song. Being that you don't really have live instruments unless you can ball like that and can afford to have, you know, session musicians recording with you. So, yeah.
Do you think that you'll ever add any lyrics or singing?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, most people don't, well, anyone watching this probably doesn't know, but I went to college for singing in musical theater, so I'm a fairly decent singer, I'd like to say. So at some point, really soon, I'm going to get a mic and get the whole setup and start singing on my own tracks, which I think is fairly neat, because there's really no electronic male producers for the most part that create their beats and their songs and sing at the same time. Most people bring in outside singers for that, so that's something that I'm definitely going to be doing soon.
Nice.
Yeah, so that will come into play, and that's a whole other part of producing, is using and integrating vocals and keeping your sound clean and clear without distorting the vocals, and then on the flip side, you know, having clean vocals without distorting your the basis of your song. So yeah, anyway, getting back to, I guess, just the tracks, I'll lay down the kick and the like 3 or 4 pieces of the drum, or of the drums to get a groove going, and then that's when I'll start laying down the first synth stabs, if you will, to get the sound that I'm looking for, to get me going in the right direction for what it is that I want to make. And I'll typically do like, 4 or 8 bars of music, typically, like of a freestyle thing that I'll do. And from there, it's usually laying on atmospheric layers. So like adding like choir sounds or angelic sounds, or just textures that are always making sound to kind of shape the next part of the song.
Right.
And that's kind of how I'll do it. That's exactly usually how the process is. It's drums with the bass, and then a little bit of the melody, and then I start layering. And then from there, once you have a melody, like a decent melody, what I'm trying to do now, and it's taking, what, 5 months that I've been doing this to get to the point where if you have 8 bars of decent melody, you can stretch that 8 bars into a whole song. Just by taking the melody and, either flipping it the other way around at some point in the song, or syncopating the rhythm of it, or adding different harmonics in that little bit of sound that you have to stretch it out into the entire song.
Nice. Now, how many songs do you have in the can right now? How many do you have recorded and done and ready for the public consumption?
That I would want you to listen to,
yeah, just the ones that are relatively good.
I'd say I won't be able to tell you now off the top of my head at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5. There's 7 on my SoundCloud. The first 2 are
Obviously, the artists are always going to be a little bit harder on themselves, but I think we both know that they're better than that.
These things happen. It is what it is.
Well,
I appreciate that.
Listen, what we've heard so far brought us to you. You once again are exactly what we're looking for. The standout in the crowd that hasn't gotten the attention they deserve. And I'm going to tell you that we're totally impressed with what we see. We can't wait to see what happens. And we're going to be on your coattails for a long time promoting what you do. And we can't wait to see you rock it and make it large. Is there... there's one last thing I always like to ask any artist that's very important to our AudioMorpheus fans out there. There's only one right answer to this, Gavin, so I want you to think hard before you answer it, okay?
Okay.
So, this is a test. There's one right answer. Alright, so don't answer fast, but answer the question. There's only one right answer, okay? Now, hat is to couch as chair is to...
Hat is... You already lost me. Ass?
You're right. How did he do that?
I'm a genius. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's at the beginning.
What were you going to say?
What?
What?
That was ridiculous.
That wasn't me. I swear it was the couch. So, Gavin, where can we find everything?
SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/celestial dash, your dash, not the word dash, Soundwave. That's it.
Thanks, Gavin, for having us out, man. It's Celestial Soundwave, not waves, but Soundwave.
Soundwave. I'm one wave, just me. And
and I've actually have the link on our site too, just to make sure. But we want to show Gavin some Wombat love.
Wombat.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for coming out today.
Thanks for having us, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Dino behind the camera. Excellent
That's right.
work. Excellent.
Hey, it was great talking to you, Gav.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Very informational. Had a lot of fun.
All right, we got to go get back on the jet, man. I'm sorry we got to run, but we'll see you back at the studios.
Dude, so jet-lagged. This is the longest flight ever. I don't think, see, I've been to Japan. Now we've been to Newport. I've been to Idaho. Or Idaho.
What'd you think about Gavin Juarez at Celestial Soundwave? What'd you think about that?
That was good stuff, man. I'll tell you what, I learned a lot. I don't know about you.
Huge information.
Well,
huge.
I Really had no idea how that music was put together. I mean, I have a general idea, but for the electronic scene, wow, very cool, very informative.
Mm-hmm. That is such a huge genre. I mean, I have no idea. He was telling us about some of these shows, these EDM shows that have 100,000 people there.
Yeah.
And they're all just naturally happy. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, they coordinate off the whole block, and then what they do,
Right.
dude, I got to figure it out.
What?
They swoop in
Yeah.
with helicopters, and they just crop dust the whole area.
With Cheerios and sugar.
With chronic Cheerios.
Okay. Of course, we're not advocating, and certainly Gavin is not either. That's our disclaimer. So, you know, the greatest thing about our trip down there was the music, and Gavin was cool.
Yeah.
The studio was awesome. I had a great time.
No, it was fun. It was just really great. Great to catch up with him and to watch his career blossom.
He is going to blow up.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Listen, I want you guys to go to the site, which you've seen many times. It is SoundCloud. If you're not visiting SoundCloud, it's kind of the platform for new music and new artists. So soundcloud.com /Celestial Soundwave. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Check it out, guys. And be sure to stay tuned for our next show because we got some great stuff coming at you. I'm excited.
I am as well. And if you don't know what we got coming up, you're just going to have to stay tuned. I'm sorry to tell you. It's just that simple. So you just got to keep clicking, keep sharing.
Keep flagging.
Keep schnicking.
Yeah, guys, we're having a great time. I hope you are too. Again, find your favorite tunes, buy their music, support these guys so they can keep bringing us this great music. And, man, come out and hang with us at the next show. Again, plug in the Intronaut at the Roxy in July 6th. Be there. Come out and let's have some good times.
Hey, get prepared for some of their stuff because they did just release the new album.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to go on iTunes, look up and buy their entire catalog. It is going to be phenomenal. I want you guys to be ready for the show. It is going to be off the hook. It's going to be crazy.
And we just found out that Crom's new album is going to be released soon, so stay tuned for that as well.
Sometime in July, but that's not official, so don't quote us on that. We will be bringing you breaking news on Cromwell's release. We can't wait to bring it to you, and you saw it here first. So thanks again to everybody for clicking and sharing. Please keep it coming. We really appreciate everything you got.
I'm Dean.
I'm Taz from AudioMorpheus.com. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.